Okay, so I take all these quadrilaterals. I don't really know if they're squares or whatever. They're all different colors. I can color code them, whatever, so that way I can really see a pattern. I want to stack them all on top of one another. Now, obviously, I stacked them up afterward. I just wanted you to see all the papers. So that's step one. After that, go and start cutting the same shape out of each of them. So I start cutting some stuff out here. I make some weird thing out there, and then I start getting those shapes out. I start cutting another shape out right here, and I'm going to do the same thing there. So cut out portions of the borders into the same unique design. That way they're all the same shape, and you can just determine whether or not they'll tessellate with having the same shape there. Now go ahead, when you take those cut out portions, like these ones right here and everything else, I'm going to tape them on the other side. So let's say I took this yellow piece right here that was cut out and I tape it over on that side. You end up starting to get shapes such as these. Anything I cut out right here, like this yellow one right here, I cut out this part right there and then I just taped it on the other side. And something like this. Whatever I cut out here, over there, which you can't see it, I taped it on that side. So I'm basically translating my cutout parts over there and over there, and I did it for every shape. And you keep doing that, you start taping them, voila, you can start tessellating. Okay, so this is the same thing as having a quadrilateral, only moving portions. So remember, this yellow part right here was right here. I cut it out, taped it on the other side, that way it became a part of the other part here. So start tessellating, and you start having fun with that. And same with this part here, did the same thing. So you can just create your own designs like so. And then you start putting them on one to another, and that's how you end up having shapes like that. Okay, in summary, well, two parallel reflections in tessellation mean the figures have translational symmetry. In other words, can I reflect something twice and say that, okay, that also means it can translate, and because it can reflect twice. Same thing about intersecting reflections. Does that mean it has rotational symmetry? Absolutely so. That's the same thing as we were saying before. If two reflections means translation, then of course that means it does. That might not mean it has reflectional symmetry, but I may be able to do two reflections to make it happen. That way it might have rotational or translational symmetry. Your homework for tonight, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 problems to do. Here, they're all pretty much covering these things in a couple questions saying, can I take two objects and tessellate them? You can start to do some patterns with them and figure that out. Otherwise, you can just add up the interior angles and see if that works too, assuming they're regular. And finally, here's the home page, here's the part for the channel or whatever. You just type that in, you get to the channel of all the videos here. Thankfully, this is the shortest thing I taught, but it's probably the most confusing as far as teaching it or learning it or understanding it. So go over through all these things, see if any of them make sense through the notes and through the videos. And I hope that tessellations became a little fun for you there. So we saw how these things can tessellate using these things, and we were able to identify some symmetries in tessellations using our knowledge of basic shapes and their properties, etc. All right, signing off.